Today, we are diving deep into an ancient practice that's getting some serious, well-deserved attention in modern medicine. We're talking about acupuncture, and specifically how it can be this incredible tool for managing chronic pain. We're going to look at the science, the philosophy behind it, and even the practical steps if you're considering this path to relief. So let's jump right in. First things first, let's get a handle on just how big this problem is. Look at that number, 50 million. That's how many adults in the United States are living with chronic pain right now. This isn't just some small annoyance, It's a massive public health issue, and it's one of the top reasons people are going to the doctor in the first place. So, how do we usually try to fix this? Well, the conventional approach often just focuses on managing the symptom. It's kind of like turning down the volume on a fire alarm. Sure, it makes the noise stop for a bit, but it doesn't actually put out the fire, right? Acupuncture, though, takes a totally different approach. It asks, hey, why is the alarm going off to begin with? The whole goal is to find the root cause and aim for real, lasting relief. And that idea really brings us to this fundamental shift in thinking. To truly treat something as complex as chronic pain, you've got to look beyond just the one symptom. You have to take a whole person approach. This quote here from licensed acupuncturist Ronald Hoof really hits the nail on the head. He points out that for so many people in pain, just the simple act of being heard, of being seen as a whole person and not just a bad back or a migraine case, is a massive part of the healing process itself. And this is exactly why that whole person view is so critical. See, chronic pain is never just about the pain. It has this huge ripple effect. It messes with your sleep, it can cause digestive problems, it puts a huge strain on your mental health, and all of that creates this vicious cycle where the stress and the lack of sleep actually make you more sensitive to pain. So any effective treatment has to look at this whole interconnected picture. Okay, so the philosophy sounds great, right? But let's get down to the brass tacks. What does the actual hard science say about all this? For a long time, acupuncture was kind of brushed off as just a placebo. Well, let's see how that story has totally changed. This is the question, isn't it? The one every skeptic asks. Is there a real, measurable effect here, or is this all just in your head? Well, the answer, based on some seriously high-quality research, is pretty surprising. Let's start with this number, 18,000. That's not a typo. That's how many patients were included in a massive meta-analysis. And for those of you who don't know, a meta-analysis is like the gold standard of scientific research. It pulls together all the best studies to get the most powerful, definitive answer possible. So, what did this enormous study find? It showed that for these four big ones, chronic back and neck pain, osteoarthritis, those relentless headaches, and shoulder pain, acupuncture was proven to be seriously effective. And the conclusion was crystal clear. Acupuncture is not just a placebo. It's significantly more effective than both sham treatments, that's where they use fake needles or put them in the wrong spots, and standard medical care. And what's really cool is that follow-up studies show these benefits aren't just a flash in the pan. They actually last over time. And just to be super clear, we're not talking about some obscure findings buried in a niche journal somewhere. This research is getting published in mainstream, top-tier medical journals, like the Journal of Pain and the Archives of Internal Medicine. The scientific evidence is here, it's solid, and it's growing every day. All right, so we've established that it works. Now for the really fun part, how does it work? How on earth can sticking tiny needles in your body actually get rid of pain? Well, it turns out there's some absolutely fascinating neuroscience going on. Let's break it down. It all starts when a needle is placed, and it stimulates very specific nerves that are sitting right under your skin. Those nerves then send a signal shooting up your spinal cord and straight to your brain. And this is where the magic happens. Your brain responds by releasing its own natural painkillers. You've heard of endorphins, and these amazing calming chemicals like serotonin. The end result is this incredible system-wide effect that not only reduces how you perceive pain, but also actively fights inflammation. Now, to really get why this is a game changer for long-term pain, you need to know about this concept, central sensitization. Basically, when you've had pain for a long time, your whole nervous system can get stuck in this high alert mode, and it starts amplifying pain signals. Think of it like a car alarm that's become way too sensitive, and now it goes off if a leaf falls on it. What acupuncture does is help to calm that overactive system down. It essentially helps reset your body's pain response back to a normal level. So maybe the science is making sense, and you're thinking, okay, I'm curious, I want to explore this. Where do you even begin? Let's walk through some really practical steps to get you started on your own path to relief. Okay, finding the right person is absolutely crucial. First, look for the letters LAC after their name. That means they're a licensed acupuncturist who's gone through some serious training. And don't ever be afraid to ask them, hey, how much experience do you have with my specific condition? And finally, and this one's huge, trust your gut. That relationship you build with your practitioner is a really big part of the treatment success. Now, for anyone who's a little nervous about the whole needle thing, this should really help put you at ease. The needles are incredibly thin. We're talking about as thin as a single strand of your hair. Most people say they feel little to nothing, maybe just a feeling of warmth or a slight tingle. A session usually lasts about an hour, and for a chronic issue, you'll probably look at an initial plan of about 8 to 12 sessions to really see those lasting results. I really want to leave you with this incredibly important thought from Ronald Tuff. Living with chronic pain is just exhausting. It's a constant battle. And a huge part of the healing journey is learning to be compassionate and gentle with yourself. It's not a character flaw. It's not you failing. It's a really complex condition, and it deserves patient, kind, and comprehensive care. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What if the real path to healing isn't about fighting your pain, or ignoring it, or pushing through it? What if it begins by finally stopping and listening to what your body has been trying to tell you all along?
I stopped trying to find a doctor who would listen, and I did this instead. For years, I was doing everything right. Eating clean, exercising, getting 8 hours of sleep, but I was still exhausted. I had constant brain fog, and my hormones felt completely out of whack. Every doctor told me my labs were normal, and it was probably just stress. I was about to give up until I found Holistic Health. It's a free AI wellness tool trained by functional medicine experts. I spent 5 minutes answering questions about everything: my symptoms, my sleep, my digestion, and it built me this. And this was the light bulb moment. It didn't just give me a list of problems, it connected the dots. It showed me how my gut health was likely impacting my hormones and how that was causing the fatigue and the brain fog. It even gave me a clear list of potential root causes, supplements to research, and even the specific lab tests to ask for. Its tip is secure. Over 77,000 people have used it, and it's 100% free to get your blueprint. If you feel like you're not being heard, start here. Understand your body first and then decide your next step.